Hey guys, listen, thank you for listening in to this podcast. The conversation with Michelle, I hope you find helpful. What I want you to take away from this is when it comes to selling, don't think that you have to convince or I have to somehow trick the other person into the true art of selling is you believe in what you're selling, you believe in your product, your service, whatever it is, and all you're doing is in a very succinct way telling them about it. Like in terms of tax rep, I am so certain that it can help you, and I'm very hype on it. All I'll do is explain to you what we do. You either want it or you don't. I'm not going to sit and try to convince you. All right. Now, if you have some objections, I may overcome them by explaining that if I think you don't understand or you're missing something. But it's not this, I have to trick the other person. It's not what it's about at all. It's being passionate about what you do or what you're selling and being able to explain that clearly to the potential party who then hopefully sees what you see and wants to buy it. All right. So listen, enjoy the podcast, this one with Michelle. We have some really cool ones coming up, and I'll see you in Tax Rep.
Hey guys, it's Eric Green. Listen, how do I make sure that all these potential clients sign my letter and pay me before we start doing work? I use Anchor. Anchor created a fully autonomous billing system and closes the cycle with zero errors. It sends our agreement to the potential client. We'll follow up with them automatically to make sure that agreement is signed. It alerts us when it gets read, when it's signed, and when payment is made. And this way, you know where you are every step of the way. I was so impressed with Anchor, which, by the way, is free. We went to Anchor and have partnered with them. Now, if you go and you register with Anchor, which is free, by the way, if I didn't mention that, you will get access to all of our checklists and letters, okay? But you have to go through our link, all right? Again, by the way, Anchor is free. There is a $5 fee per transaction if you're wondering how they make money. But given that our minimum retainer is $750, it's less than 1%. It's nothing, okay? So again, it's free. They charge the $5, transaction fee on payments, and it will automate your onboarding clients, make follow-up, just puts it on autopilot. It just saves you all that stress and you will close more deals. All right. So sign up here. It's www.sayanchor.com/tax rep. Again, sayanchor.com, sayanchor.com/tax rep, TAXREP. When you go through there, you'll sign up for free and you will have access to all of our letters and checklists, which will save you the trouble of recreating them yourself. All right. Go check out Anchor and put that closing process on autopilot. Guys, I've told my horror story before with S Corp clients and how do you know what reasonable comp is? My horror stories when they went after that CPA who was a friend of mine for $125,000, arguing that he knew and that he knew better and that he should have made sure his clients took reasonable comp. I'm a huge fan of RC Reports. RC Reports, it's about $1,400 a year. We're charging the S Corps that come to us under audit $750 a piece. We'll probably make between $10,000 and $20,000 with RC Reports. But if you have S Corp or C Corp clients, they have to each year get a report, and the report is as simple as possible. RC Reports has a huge database of businesses. It will give you a report that you can rely on. And so far, to date, when we produce that report, not a single auditor has challenged it. The critical thing right now is for your clients to get that report to support the number they're taking on the return that you're taking on that return that you're signing. Best way to do it, RC Reports. Go check it out, okay? You can find them. It's trn.rcreports.com. Again, trn.rcreports.com. Go there, you'll save $100. It will change your practice, create an annuity stream for you, and bulletproof your clients' corporate returns. The Tax Rep podcast is now proudly partnered with Nice Job, the experts in reputation marketing. Reviews are so important for attracting new clients. Before Nice Job, I would ask people to leave reviews, but they would usually forget, and I didn't have a way to stay on top and remember to follow up with them. That's where Nice Job comes in. Their smart follow-up campaign recognizes who hasn't left a review yet and automatically sends carefully timed reminders that can increase your chances of getting a review by 300%. I tried Nice Job for Tax Rep, and it's been a game changer. We added 33 five-star reviews in our first month, and our Google business profile is like a magnet for new customers. You can try Nice Job for free for 14 days and get 50% off your first 3 months by visiting nicejob.grsm.io/taxrep. nicejob.grsm.io/taxrep. I'm going to put a link in the description of the podcast. Try it. It will be a game changer for your business as well. How do I manage my tax rep practice? How do I get transcripts? How do I track what is going on with the IRS with every single one of my client cases? How do we complete the offer forms, the powers of attorney, everything? We use Tax Help software. Tax Help software is the cornerstone of our practice. We use it for its intelligent ordering. Every single night, it will update the transcripts on our clients, so we will see things happen long before those letters even go to the mail. We can then, react. We can let the client know. We can get all the transcripts we need to determine what our client's best options are, when is the debt going to expire, and we can fill in all of the IRS forms and get them filed accurately, the analysis done correctly. If you're interested in giving it a test, go to taxhelpsoftware.com, use promo code TAXREPTRIAL, all one word, all caps. You'll get a free 2-week trial. Again, that's taxhelpsoftware.com, TAXREPTRIAL, all caps, for a free 2-week trial. If you love it and want to buy it, use TAXREP10, capital, all caps, TAXREP10, TAXREP10, all caps, one word. You'll save 10% on your purchase. It will be the engine that runs your tax rep practice, just like it's what we use for ours.
Hey everyone, it's Eric Green. Thank you for joining us again on the Tax Rep Network podcast. Back is Michelle Weinstein. You know Michelle from The Abundant Accountant. And I had to get Michelle back because what I wanted to talk about as the title of this program is it's about sales and selling. And, Michelle, let me just lay the groundwork here for what I think the issue is I get emailed all the time, and I got a few more last week, which is what prompted this.
Got it.
Is how do you sell? How do you get yourself to sell, whatever? And what I think is going on, or at least what I'm feeling through these emails, if there's such a thing, is people are under the impression that to sell, you have to sit there and try to convince somebody. Right? That you've got to overcome arguments, and that has not been my experience. And you are the queen of sales. So I wanted to, and by the way, I've never gotten the impression from you that that's what you're coaching people to do. And so.
Never.
No. So can you sort of react to that?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, Eric, to think about, and for everyone listening, is that sales is just another word to communicate. Sales is about connection, communication, building the know, like, and trust factor. And when you love the service so much and you believe in something so much, that process of communicating your belief and passion for it, and that you can help solve whoever is in front of you, their problem, becomes the definition of a sale. And I'll give you a personal example. One of my girlfriends, she was my physical therapist for the last year. The physical therapy place decided to close down. And she also has a niche with helping women who have, I think the technical term is incontinence. Anyway, after a baby, they have the frequency they need to urinate, et cetera. There's a lot of exercises and things that a human can do in order to not have that problem happen. That problem, Eric, is so big. And I told her, I said, you could coach women on how to mitigate this, build those muscles, build the area of strength so they don't have to wear a diaper. And she's like, how? And I said, well, there's a program. It will teach you all the elements. I don't have time in my life to teach you that. I specifically work with accounting, tax, and bookkeeping firm owners, teaching them how to sell and create and double their firm revenue and do all that fun stuff that I can't be a coach to everybody. But instead of undercharging for your worth by just trading your time for dollar, meeting with patient to patient, when she's working too many hours for too little money, which is the same problem that a lot of firm owners I meet come across, I shared with her this program and she enrolled in it. And she goes, Michelle, you're such a good salesperson. And I said, okay, thank you. However, I believe so strong about this program and I know how much it can help you. And I know that you have a service that could help so many other women out there that are challenged with this issue, and that you no longer have to trade your time for dollar and you can have financial freedom and you can create a thriving business. You just need the steps. And she enrolled and she told me this literally yesterday, Eric. And I said, yeah. She goes, Michelle, you've changed my life. I've already had people I'm talking to about this problem. I go, it's been a couple weeks, and you've already made a difference in some people's lives. And you're not just going patient to patient. And that's what sales is. And I always share too, Eric, that for every firm owner out there that feels they're working too many hours, or you keep taking on more clients and you think that's sales, or you're increasing your fees and you're terrified that all your clients will leave you, that is a belief in yourself problem. That's a confidence issue. And I think, Eric, for you, what you have is this immense confidence that when you help a person who's in trouble with the IRS and you're so confident that you can change their life and get them out of their problem. Like, for example, I met one of your friends, a firm owner, Yoav, and he's helping one of my friends. It wasn't that I sold her on having him hire or having her hire him to get her out of IRS mayhem. It's that you guys are so good at what you do and you're leaving someone in a better place. And when you leave someone in a better place than where they started, that is the sales process. And to be honest, Eric, you're not convincing anybody, because the convincing is if they're going to work with you, they're in a better off position than where they're at right now. With my friend Natalie, the women aren't peeing on themselves just walking down the street anymore, right? With you, they're not paying endless interest, penalties, racking up all this stuff. And what about maybe getting a lien on their house or their bank accounts being garnished at any moment? That is a worse off position than you sharing how passionate you are about fixing their problem. And that is where sales becomes.
Well, and it's interesting. You mentioned, self-confidence, which is really self-trust. It's really about understanding that you have the skills and that you can do this. When I sell, quote unquote, sell, what I'm doing is simply explaining, if it's in the law firm, I'm explaining what I do, what the options are. That sort of, if you're passionate about it, you believe in it, that comes across. I don't convince anybody of anything. In fact, what I would tell you is, in more and more as we keep getting busier and busier, I almost don't even care if they come or not as a client. But the
Can I touch on that real quick?
Or to say that's sort of the fact that I believe in this. In fact, and I'll let you speak in a moment, but in fact, people don't, when I go and give a talk, people don't have to believe what I'm saying. That's not, I'm sure there are people that don't believe what I'm saying. They just have to believe that you believe what you're saying. And that comes through from understanding what it is you're selling, whether it's the coaching, like tax rep. I don't convince accountants and lawyers to join tax rep. I'm just telling them about the opportunity and why I think this is interesting. I think it's a no-brainer. Some people are interested, some aren't, but I'm not trying to convince people to do tax rep that aren't interested. First of all, why would I? If they're not interested, they're not going to stay.
They're never going to do the work.
Right.
Yeah. But I wanted to touch on the fact that I think, I don't remember the exact words now that you used, but something to the point where it doesn't bother you if they don't even become a client. And one of the best power positions to be in with your clients is not only to not be desperate and not convince anybody, but Eric, you are completely detached from the outcome, is what I call it. And when you're so good at what you do, it's almost like, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to make your life better. I'm here to get you out of tax craziness with the IRS. It's up to you if you want to change your life. Here are all the ways and how I can save you money on interest, not have your wages garnished, not get liens, whatever the outcome is for that prospect. But at the end of the day, we're not attached to the outcome. I just had this experience, Eric, yesterday with a woman. I was 100% certain. And in sales, we actually are selling certainty and confidence. That's what I was sharing with my friend Natalie as well. I am so certain and so confident that you can build a coaching business helping these women. I don't need to convince you because my certainty is so strong. But on the flip side, the person might feel, wow, they can sell anything. It's like, no, I'm just that certain. And certainty at a high level can come across so confident, and it might feel like, wow, I was just sold. And it's just your interpretation. It's your belief of what that word means. But a woman yesterday, she didn't believe all the testimonials I have and how clients are paying, $1,000 a month for monthly bookkeeping and accounting work or CFO services. She only charges, I think, $595, and she just raised it from $495. For this discussion, I'll call her Joan. And Joan, I said, you've done really well, but in let's be honest, you're really smart and you're really intelligent and you hustle, but you still are leaving thousands of dollars on the table. It's no different than a tax rep client who's leaving thousands of dollars on the table in interest and penalties and all those areas that if they don't want to change, that's not our problem. Eric, it's not your problem. And if this woman, Joan, didn't want to make a change in her firm, she can keep spinning her wheels and keep burning the candle at both ends and keep working a lot. And yes, making a lot of money, but sacrificing her work-life balance. And that's not my problem. But another thing that I think you do really well is that we take a stand for people. But we can't ultimately, they get to choose what they want to do. And when the choice is made and the decision is made to A, not do anything, or B, engage your firm, or like Joan, engage me or do nothing, she chose to wait, which in my mind is do nothing, because nothing's going to change. They're only going to go back to the same behaviors because we are human beings. And in order to make a shift or a change, it takes massive courage. And a lot of times for the tax rep clients, they're in a lot of fear. Yeah, and fear gets in the way.
And we're talking two different things. So the again, on the law firm side, I don't even think of it as selling. They come in, they need my help. We explain, we're charging $2,500 now for an analysis, and people pay it, and it's
time to raise it.
It's no brainer. On the tax rep membership side, it's sort of the same thing. I mean, to me, it's, if you're coming and listening to us and you're looking at our stuff, you clearly have an interest in doing something beyond the bookkeeping and the tax returns and all of that.
Right.
I don't feel like I have to sell you on joining tax rep. All I do, and I think this is what I hope the takeaway is for everyone listening to this, I think there are two issues. One is your own self-trust. You need to get comfortable with the fact you know what you're doing. You have what you do is valuable, and get over this fear of hearing no. And in fact, the best salespeople will tell you once they hear no, that's when things get interesting. They want to hear the first no. I'm not sure I buy into that, but the point being is one is the self-trust aspect, but the second is if you believe in what it is that you are, and again, for lack of a better term, selling, right? If it's at the firm, what I'm selling is a good night's sleep, is peace of mind, is making the IRS.
You're selling the outcome.
No one cares about the forms. I can make very pretty forms. No one cares. They want to make the problem go away. They just make this end. I'm tired of fighting with my wife. I'm tired of waking up and my bank account is at zero and I've bounced my checks. It's really about that good night's sleep and ending the pain. And in fact, for those of you listening to this, on the selling your representation services, your marketing message is, I will end the pain. I mean, no one cares about the forms. No one needs you to impress them how brilliant you are. At the end, are you the person? Are you the man or woman who can just make this end? I'm tired of this. I want to make it go away. And on the tax rep side, it's, do you want to build six figures and not have tax season anymore and not have and by the way, it's like a superpower. And I say that because the relief you can bring, I've never seen anyone do a 1040 and have people cry and send them gifts. It's a commodity. But when you resolve the problem and you can make tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars go away, the IRS go away, the State Department of Revenue go away, it's like the rock has been lifted.
Yeah, it's a weight off their shoulders. They can sleep peacefully at night, like you said. They don't have this glooming cloud over them that's like a thunderstorm that can explode with hail or snow or ice at any time. That's all removed, and that gives someone the sense of peace, freedom, and tranquility.
Yep. No.
Yeah.
And
I think something for everyone listening is to realize and start thinking about, what are your sales beliefs? Some of you might think that selling is manipulative or sleazy. Some of you might think, Michelle, I'm not a natural salesperson like you or like Eric. Or you might think, well, Michelle, Eric, well, people just buy based on price. Or you might think, well, I'm just lucky to have my clients. I can't be that picky of who I work with. I need everybody. I need everyone to say yes. Or you might just say, like, I hate selling in total. I just don't like it. But if you own your own firm, let me bring you to shed some light. You signed up for a 24/7 sales career because you are the person in charge of bringing in the revenue, which is the top line item on your P&L. And I want to share some alternative beliefs for you to think about and contemplate. And maybe, Eric, you've got some more you could add to this. But selling is an honorable and moral imperative for your clients, because if you don't share with them how you can get rid of their pain and sleep at night and save hundreds of thousands of dollars and have peace of mind, we're doing them a disservice by not helping solve their problems, or saying they're never going to go for it, or they're just going to tell me no. Also, sales skills is something anyone can learn. I have taught hundreds of accounting and tax firm owners these skills. It is possible.
But how much of it is sales skill versus a change of
it's
their
attitude
point of
and
view?
skill. It's attitude, point of view, and skills. But the attitude and point of view becomes a format of your belief system. So until we alter those beliefs about what your thoughts are about the word sales, because Eric, all of us have had bad sales experiences. We've all been to the car dealership and were haggled. Or you went to the mall and there was a kiosk in the mall and you were annoyed because someone was trying to give you something you didn't really want. All of us here, though, are in a service-based business of something that somebody truly needs to change their life once and for all, or to get out of a really, really big mess, especially for the tax rep side of things. People will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a problem solved. And another truth about selling is that people will buy based on value and feelings. So if they feel that you can provide freedom, not the form like Eric said, or they feel that they can have peace and tranquility, not because of that you sat on the phone with the IRS for 15 hours to negotiate whatever deal, they will pay a lot of money. And I think another one for a lot of firm owners, Eric, is scarcity. Because the scarcity mindset will sabotage us. And those are some of the first things that you really want to start thinking about and reflecting on and doing mindset work around, because I've met a lot of firm owners go, wow, Michelle, this is actually fun. I mean, Eric, don't you think the sales process is fun, and meeting with clients and seeing how you can change their life and get them on a new trajectory? Because if they don't make a change and engage your firm, they're in the same boat. They're not changing.
Well, I don't think of it as sales. So it's fun,
Right.
but what my thought is, to me, learning to sell is just getting comfortable with explaining what it is you do and the benefit that you can bring. That's sales, right? I don't have to try to convince you. And in fact, again, on the rep side, they're there because they have a need. Like if for those of you who watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street, because he was this great salesman, and he's always like, try to sell me this pen. And they're always like, well, they're talking about the pen. Here's the real lesson for the true salespeople to do that. No one cares about the pen. It's a pen. It's what do you look for in a pen? What is in other words, what do you need? I am going to fill the need. And if I can fill the need, you're going to buy. Period. The end. It's not
how they're
trying
going
to convince you to buy a pen because I want to sell you a pen. So if you were an actual salesperson sitting there, they take the pen and be like, what do you look for in a pen? Big, you like the shine, do you like a little bit thicker, the hole, and basically what you're trying to get at is what do they need. On the rep side, I pretty much already know what they need. Now, I don't know, it may be a lien issue, it may be the balance and a payment plan, whatever, but they're coming to me with a tax need. And so for me, it's more explaining, yes, we can make this go away if you work with us. Yeah. The simplest sales process in the world, because all I'm telling them is what I can do. And for what I tell my tax rep members, and for those of you listening who are not members, it's not about trying to impress them with the technical minutia. I'm just going to be honest with you. They don't care. And in fact, you're turning them off. Well,
you lose them.
Yeah.
Not only is it a turn off, but you lose them in the detail and the minutia.
Right.
It's like the brain goes to, is he speaking Japanese? And then they get all caught up on these details, and it's getting them away from how they feel. That's really what's going on.
Right.
And that's the least important thing. And if you can just eliminate and stop that part of your process when meeting with prospects, you'll do really well.
Right. Yeah. And so, listen, I mean, for those of you who are interested, Michelle, this is what she does. All right. So if you're hung up about this, go out to Michelle, the pitch queen, but the abundant accountant. Michelle coaches hundreds of people on just this. My message would be that if you have confidence in what you do, you just have to explain what you do. All right. And they will come and they will hire you, and you should price yourself accordingly. Michelle can help you with that on making sure that you're charging appropriately. And what you'll find, at least what I have found, is I have no problem asking for more money or whatever it's worth, because that's what it's worth. And I feel very comfortable that that's what it's worth. And again, if they say no and walk out the door, okay. They usually don't. All right. And part of that is your passion about what it is. Like, again, Zig Ziglar's have passion for what you're selling. And at the time, I'm like, for like the car or the pen, or like, how do you get passion? I think what he meant is if you have to believe in what you're selling, because again, they don't have to believe what you're saying. They have to believe that you believe what you're saying. And
Well,
that
and
is
it's
when they
like with
get
the
comfortable with you.
Yeah, and with the car and the pen, it's how do they feel driving the car? How do they feel writing with that pen? When they execute their book or their, poem of the day, how does the ink flow on there? It's not about the actual physical thing, which in our world, it's the form or the actual documents and phone calls to the IRS. This is about the outcome. And that's what I think is really important to take away from today. And
Right.
the other big thing that you've mentioned, Eric, is that when you can become detached from the outcome and you can do your best to guide and serve your client, it's called having a servant mindset. When we can serve more and be committed to their dreams and their outcomes and you solving a problem, that speaks so much more than, oh, here's this pen or here's this car. The car is the vehicle. It's the feeling about how you've done that. And yes, like Eric said, I've helped, I think, over 172 firm owners now, not only double their revenue, but win back their freedom and time and confidence. And, my clients have generated over 10 million of additional revenue in their firms. So I definitely think I know what I'm talking about.
Yes. No, because they're helping people save money. We're resolving people's problems. Remember,
Yeah,
again, as Michelle said, they're not buying the thing. They're buying what the thing can do. Right.
correct.
For instance,
Yes,
I go out and I buy a drill bit. I don't want a drill bit. I want a hole. All
correct.
right. I'm not buying the drill bit because I like the drill bit. I don't care about the drill bit. I care about the hole that it makes in the wall that I got to hang the thing. All right.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
that messaging of is don't get caught up in the minutia. It's what you can do for the person. All right. And when you understand that and do that, selling is a piece of cake. So listen, for those of you interested, and Michelle, thank you for doing this. I'm going to put a link in the
Yeah.
description.
It's
You
the
can-
abundantcall.com if you want to explore more with me and my team. So that's the website that they can go to, the abundantcall.com.
And we've had a whole bunch of tax rep members go and
Yes.
take Michelle up on her training. And so with that, everyone, thank you for joining us this week. Michelle, thank you as always.
Oh, I can talk about this all day, Eric. You just have to stop me, because that's why you're not afraid of selling. That's why I'm not afraid. And many of your tax rep members are no longer afraid and getting paid up front and doubling their fees and increasing their fees and getting so detached from that. You can't serve everybody and help everybody, but you can qualify and work with the exact quality clients that you deserve. You just have to work on some of the belief systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that, everyone, thank you. Keep going with tax season, and we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.